In the 21st century, we live in a world of amazing inventions and life-changing devices. But though earlier periods of history may not have been as advanced as we are, there are some technologies that stand out as being well ahead of their time, even surprising modern scientists to this day. Today, we'll be looking at 5 amazing pieces of ancient technology. This is Ben, and you're watching Historic Mysteries. Number 1. The Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera Mechanism is a 2,000-year-old ancient Greek bronze computer which scientists believe was used to make astronomical calculations giving information about the movements of the stars and other celestial bodies. It was discovered in 1901 inside a sunken 2,000-year-old trade ship near the Greek island of Antikythera, where it gets its name. The device had information on what phase the moon will be in at a given moment, whether or not a lunar or solar eclipse will be likely that month, when the ancient Hellenic Olympic Games should take place, and we believe displays of planetary positions, and much more. This was like a Swiss army knife for ancient astronomers. Containing scientific dials and dozens of gear wheels, it is the most complex mechanism we've ever discovered from the time period. No other geared device even comes close to its level of sophistication for another 1,000 years at least, around the Middle Ages with cathedral clocks. Today it resides in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. Number 2. Roman concrete. Roman concrete has fascinated engineers and architects for centuries. Not only was it impressive for its own time historically, but it's actually more durable than modern concrete, believe it or not. Today, bridges and buildings can often be seen crumbling a matter of decades after they were built. But Roman structures famously have lasted thousands of years with no sign of collapse anytime soon. In fact, Roman concrete gets stronger over time, not weaker. So how does it work exactly? Well, thanks to Roman engineer Marcus Vitruvius, who lived 2,000 years ago, we have an ancient recipe for Roman mortar. It seems their structures were made of a cocktail of volcanic ash and rocks, as well as limestone and also seawater mixed into a wooden mold. Then the whole thing will be submerged in seawater again. After analysing such structures in Pozzuoli Bay near Naples, scientists discovered that the seawater reacted with volcanic ash, rocks and crystals in the structure to form a very rare and strong mineral called aluminium tubermarite. While this substance can be created in laboratory settings, it's very difficult to incorporate into cement. Unfortunately, it takes decades or even centuries for this process to take effect, and scientists are still trying to figure out how this Roman cement mix can be incorporated into modern structures. Number 3. Ancient Chinese earthquake detector. Hufeng Didongyi was an ancient Chinese seismograph or earthquake detector dating back almost 2,000 years to 132 AD by a Chinese inventor called Chang Heng. This guy was an astronomer, mathematician, engineer, cartographer, geographer, and inventor who was very prolific in his own time, sort of like the ancient Chinese equivalent of Leonardo da Vinci. The device was a giant bronze pot or cauldron, almost 6 feet across, with 8 carvings of dragons surrounding the vessel. Each dragon represented one of the main compass directions and had a small bronze ball in its mouth. Below each one was a bronze frog or toad looking up with its mouth open. The idea was, when an earthquake occurred, even hundreds of miles away, the shock waves would cause the ball to fall out of the mouth of the dragon and into the frogs, which would allow the user to tell which direction the shock wave was traveling. Not only do ancient sources attest to this device working, but in 2005, scientists in China attempted to replicate this device and claimed that they successfully detected 4 real-life earthquakes in China and Vietnam. Most seismographs as we know them today would not be developed until centuries later in the 17 and 1800s. This invention, if it truly worked, was way ahead of its time. Number 4. Ancient Greek napalm. Greek fire was a special weapon used by the Byzantine Greeks primarily for naval warfare, and today would be something akin to napalm. It was invented by Callinicus of Heliopolis, a Jewish refugee who came to Byzantine Greece when fleeing the Muslim conquest of Syria in the 600s. Believed to be made from mixtures including petroleum, saltpeter, or turpentine, the flaming substance was usually either thrown in pots onto enemy ships, causing them to burst into flames, or launched in tubes just like a modern flamethrower. Not only did it spontaneously combust, but it couldn't even be put out with water and would burn on the surface of the ocean according to ancient sources. A hugely effective weapon, it was used by the Byzantine Empire to repel countless attacks over the centuries, and the mixture's exact recipe was so guarded by the Greeks that we still don't know its exact composition even to this day. Number 5. Archimedes' Death Ray. Honestly, this entire video could be about Archimedes and his inventions and be a top 50 video. This guy had more advanced gadgets than Batman. Born in Greek Sicily in the 200s AD, he made all kinds of crazy war machines, from a giant claw used to pick up enemy naval ships and drop them into the sea, to a special screw mechanism for bailing out water from a boat when the hull leaked. He had all kinds of mad stuff. But perhaps his most flashy invention is his ancient death ray. According to ancient sources, during the siege of Syracuse, Archimedes used a reflective device to redirect the sun's rays towards the invading Roman ships, causing them to burst into flames and severely hindering the attack. While some scientists were dubious as to whether or not this would actually be possible, in 2005 MIT conducted an experiment using mirrors and a replica Roman ship. Sure enough, they managed to successfully cause it to combust. So believe it or not, this would have actually been possible during his own time. It's quite believable that Archimedes may have created the world's first directed energy weapon. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to share it with your friends and subscribe to us on all social media sites. Check us out at Historic Mysteries for more fascinating historical content like this. As always, thank you so much for watching.